Today is November 3rd, election day. You're watching this on a Saturday, but it's Tuesday, and this is how I'm coping. We have elections here in the United States, and we have elections in Puerto Rico. I'm not voting in the Puerto Rican elections, but my whole family lives there, so very important elections. Anyways, back to the Coquito. I love Coquito. It's a staple in Puerto Rico. There's no way you go to a Christmas party and there's no Coquito. You need it. And the great thing about this coconut drink is that it cures in the fridge for a long time. Put it in the fridge and just leave it there and it'll last about a year. Coquito in English really means small coconut, and it is a coconut drink. As you can probably see here from the ingredients, we have cream of coconut, coconut milk, sweet condensed milk, and evaporated milk. We also have cinnamon, very important to have cinnamon, and then the rum. Coquito, it's usually made with just white Bacardi rum. You can also use Don Q. I would say the most important thing is to use a Puerto Rican rum. So use either white Bacardi rum or Don Q rum. But I like to add a little twist to it. I like to add some gold Bacardi rum. I just think this really picks up the flavor of the Coquito. It won't impact the coconut flavor, which I love. So there's Coquitos that people make with chocolate, they make with pistachio, they make with vanilla, and like they're good, but you're really altering the flavor of the Coquito with those added sweet flavors. The gold rum, it really doesn't change the flavor of the Coquito. You're still getting that creamy coconut drink, but then you're getting a smoother rum flavor, and that's what I love about my recipe. So this is my little mix and my ingredients for the Coquito. Making Coquito is really easy. All you need is a blender, and I already failed. I don't have a blender, but I do have this mini smoothie blender, which I'll count it as a blender. To make the Coquito, clearly this won't be enough because you're going to use the entire cream of coconut, the entire coconut milk, and the whole evaporated milk. And then with the sweet condensed milk, we're only using a little bit of this one. But still, if you're looking at all of these ingredients, it's not enough to fit in here, which is why I have two. And what I'm going to do is try to do equal parts in one, equal parts in another. And then I'll actually just combine them or finish mixing them in here, and then I'll pour them into the glass bottle where I'll store them. First ingredient, coconut milk. It's really important to mix this. It tends to separate in the can, and because I'm not pouring it all into one container for the blender, I have to make sure it's really mixed. So what I'm going to do is pour half and half. So it's about half. There's our coconut milk. Then let's do our cream of coconut. Same thing, make sure you really mix it. And same thing, half and half. Now we're adding the evaporated milk. This is another one where we're using the entire can. Finally, the sweet condensed milk. We're not using the entire can, which is why I'm not that worried about space. We still have the rum to go, but the rum can just be mixed in. It doesn't have to be blended in. I'm more concerned about the coconut cream and the coconut milk and the sweet condensed milk blending in. I want to make sure I have a good blend of those, and then I'll add the rum. I'm measuring the sweet condensed milk. I want to make sure I use the exact amount of this one since I'm not splitting the can. I'm doing a quarter cup into each container. Okay, looking good. And now I'm starting with the blue one, and now I'm just gonna turn this on and blend it. So now I'm taking my mix and pouring it in the bigger container where I'm going to mix everything. Same thing, I'm adding some cinnamon to the second mix. So now I'm just pouring the second batch into my big pitcher. I'm taking a whisk and just mixing this all together, and this is the step where you can try it. Try before you add the alcohol. The Coquito should taste good enough to be drank on its own. So it's missing a little bit of sweet condensed milk. So what I'm going to do now is fill these up about halfway, and I'm going to add the rum in here. I'll also go ahead and add a little bit of the sweet condensed milk in here. As you can see, there's a little bit of Coquito left over in the pitcher, but it doesn't matter, it's all going to come back together. Now I'm going to eyeball this part. I'm just adding a little bit more, so let's do a tablespoon in this mixture, and let's do another one here. Now I'm also adding more cinnamon. The cinnamon flavor in this drink should really come through. So if the cinnamon flavor isn't coming through, you have to add more. And now for the good part, our rum. Okay, we're doing 1 cup white, 1 cup gold. I'm eyeballing half and half. So again, about half a cup, I think that's enough. And about half a cup. And now gold. Same thing, half and half. So I feel like these are gonna be pretty much filled up. And we have to keep in mind that there's more Coquito in here, so we're mixing all of this together and tossing it in here. Now the first blue batch is already here. I'm adding in the pink batch. Now I'm taking my whisk and just making sure that I'm mixing those two separate batches. And you can always add more alcohol here. The alcohol doesn't have to go in the blender. So if you feel like it's missing a little bit of rum, just add more rum. I'm adding a little bit more rum. I don't want to overdo it with the rum, but it's election day, so a little bit more. And you're not drinking this all by yourself, hopefully. Just a little bit more. So it'll be fine. Now that your Coquito is done, you want to keep it in a glass container. I don't have any glass containers. I could have gone to Target, but I didn't. So what I'm gonna do is store it in the Bacardi bottle, and I actually prefer doing this because I don't wash the bottle. I just washed this. This is the blue container, one of the ones I was using to blend the mix. I like keeping my white rum in the fridge, so I don't mind that it's in this container. I'm just gonna pour it all in here. Once it's all in there, I'm going to put the lid on it and I'll keep it in the fridge. Now we get to the good part. As I mentioned, I like to put my Coquito in the glass rum bottle. So I'm doing one, this is a big one here. So I'll just do one. I'll pour in my cinnamon stick in. You know what, why one? Let's do two. I'll do a smaller one. Yeah, this is a baby one. So there's a big cinnamon stick in there and a small cinnamon stick in there. This is mixed. So we're just gonna pour it in the bottle. It might be too much mixture for the bottle. You can't tell, but there's about this much left that's empty. That's a good thing. We wanna leave some space so that we can mix the Coquito. From experience, I can tell you all of the cinnamon is going to fall and accumulate at the bottom of the bottle. Just whenever you pull it out of the fridge, you have to keep this in the fridge. Whenever you pull it out of the fridge, just make sure you're mixing it. And here we have it, our final product, the Coquito, ready for Christmas. When you serve the Coquito, you can pour a little bit of cinnamon over it. I'm not doing that right now. You can also take a cinnamon stick and put it in the glass or the little shot glass and use that to stir it. Coquito can be taken as shots. You can also take it as a drink. It's very heavy. You saw all of the ingredients that went into it, so I wouldn't recommend a glass or a cup any bigger than this. You're just gonna get tired of the flavor. But if you start taking it bit by bit, or in little or smaller shot glasses, it'll be more enjoyable. And of course you want it chilled. This one isn't chilled, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in the fridge, and I'll start drinking when the election is over. Well, thanks for joining me. I hope you really try this. It's an amazing drink. It's the closest thing we have to eggnog, but better, and it doesn't have any eggs. Of course, you can add an egg to this. If you add an egg, it's not coquito anymore. It's what we call ponche, but you can still add an egg to it and it'll be really good. The flavor will be there, and you can still put it in the fridge and it'll hold up for quite a while because of all the alcohol. If you try the recipe, if you do something different, if you add any other flavors, I mentioned at the beginning people like making chocolate coquito, vanilla coquito, pistachio coquito. Let me know if you do that and how you vary the recipe. I've never done flavored coquito, so I don't really know the ratio if I want to make it chocolate flavored or vanilla flavored, but yeah, I like the traditional one. This is my version. Again, I'm gonna put this in the fridge before I drink it all. I want to have some left over for tonight.